Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Dr. Jeff Magee. Would you like to tell everybody about your credentials and what you do here at the space?
So my primary work of what I do is working with entrepreneurs and executives of major corporations. So I have multi-billion-dollar corporations where I literally work with the CEO and his or her senior leadership team. I work with adjutant generals and commanders in the United States Army National Guard. I work with Fortune 100 corporations, and I work with entrepreneurs at the $20, $30 million level. That's where I've been for 20 years. I've written books that have been bestsellers. McGraw-Hill's my publisher.
Don't you also work with a lot of governors too?
Great question. I do. Some of my college textbooks have been used at the executive level, and from that, for example, the governor of Montana is a friend of mine, and I've done lots of work with governors at the cabinet level with the president, with some different secretaries, Secretary of Education, Secretary of Agriculture. I do a lot of work with organizations connected with them and affiliated with them. Publish a magazine called Performance. The program that we're representing here today is basically Performance 360 events. Specifically within that, it's if you're a speaker or trainer, or you want to be a speaker or trainer, how do you really dig deep, do a deep dive on what's your mental DNA that you could re-gift, transfer that knowledge, and monetize it at the same time. And that's what I do with a lot of people here, is that what is it that really is your essence? There's great business strategists here that you can connect with, lots of other great people to collaborate with. But part of what I try to do is to help people to understand what really is your essence, what is it you're trying to do, and what really sequentially is the next step. And part of what I see, unfortunately, in the world today is there's a lot of people trying to dispense advice that really, if you tried to write the resume, wouldn't take up more than a Post-it note.
And so I want people to really understand, we do these 5 business growth conferences a year. And so I see people that just keep coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back. So I see how their business just absolutely just launches. It just grows so much faster.
And that's a key piece of it. A person comes here and there's really different life cycles of a business. Am I in conception mode and startup, and I really just I have nothing besides me and maybe a piece of paper. You have businesses that are in startup and launch mode, so that might be me anywhere to X number of employees and revenue or not. And then you have businesses that are mature businesses. They're out there running. And even a mature business has to re-loop back to a startup infancy phase again with new products. The beauty of CEO Space is that if people look at the concept of CEO Space and they come in with an agenda, with a target, with a game plan, whatever you want to call it, and they're very focused on that, and they execute that game plan to accomplish those results, then the next CEO Space you come back with, what's the next evolution? Where do I go? You've got to be focused. Part of the Club President Network that CEO Space has, yourself and the other executives, can help a person to kind of really fine-tune the reason for being here. But as long as you stay focused with that track, you will get significant results out of ROI out of each one you come to. The next one you come back is the next level. That's how you grow 5 times a year.
And this is your very first business growth conference.
Absolutely, my first. I've been to so many different seminars over the years that usually what happens is you come home, or I do anyway, with stacks of contacts and a binder and a lot of notes, and I don't really know what to do with it then.
Do you feel that you're going to be able to walk away from your very first business growth conference with a clear, concise strategy on what you need to do next? And do you think you'll be even more prepared and be able to accomplish even more at your second business growth conference in December?
Definite yes to both things. And the thing is, I didn't have to figure it out, because during the workshops, I was given sequencing and steps to take and what you do when you get home. And so I already have that support behind me. And it's just amazing. And I know that during the time between now and the next forum, I'm going to be implementing ideas that were given to me and that I learned in the classes. And all the information is there. It's that usually you don't know what to do with it. Like you could sit down and watch videotapes or, you know, DVDs or read books, and then you close it and you're like, now what do I do? Because you don't have that support behind you saying, okay, here's the sequence, here's the step, do this, and then we'll talk again. And that's what I've gotten here is everybody is so free with their sharing and with their willingness to keep giving you more and more and more.
There are so many business owners out there that are just stuck. I mean, they get to that $10 million plateau or they get to that $100 million plateau and they just can't seem to go over the hump. They're just stuck. What would you say to that business owner that is stuck?
You know, and again, to a degree, some of those are businesses that, you know, visiting with and talking with here and helping them to see things differently is absolutely the give back. Businesses at certain level are not prospects of mine. They're not going to be a customer of mine, so it's all about giving back. If they were a size where they were going to be a customer of mine, where we do the leadership and development work with that human DNA, then the answer is the same for both. The beauty of coming to CEO Space is it can unstuck you, as you called it, because again, the more people you interact with, you'll start hearing differing comments. And if you're willing to be open to differing ideas and comments, you'll start to see lots of ways to address your dilemma. Now, some of them are not going to be relevant, but the mere fact that you're open to hearing them is going to cause you to see things differently. That's one. Two, the peer group of people that are here. If you recognize who's my peer group and who are the people that maybe are up that ladder of life for me, and you start to connect with them, you can make things happen. I mean, there's some people here that have phenomenal Rolodexes, if you will, LinkedIns, if you will, in their phone. You know, and you want to connect with someone, if it's a genuine, sincere connection, people pull out their phones and they send personal texts to people and open up doors right then. That's how you get to those next levels.
Well, you know, Jeff, I've seen you actually get on the telephone and call people out of your book, your black book, whatever you might want to call it. But these are people that you have spent the time, the energy, and the money, and the effort in building relationships with these people.
That's the key
and
word,
they trust you, and you have rapport with them, and they know that you operate with impeccable integrity, you operate in open transparency and accountability. So when you pick up that phone and you call this individual that you built that relationship with and say, I want you to meet this person. I think this person would be a great fit. I think they've got a product or a service that your company could really use, and this is what it's going to help to do. They walk into that appointment vetted already.
That's exactly, and that's a key piece. I think successful people, the things I've learned as a student of them, is that successful people recognize it's not just about you. It is those connections. If I hear person A talking about something they can do and I know a person B, it is the connections, it's the referrals, it's the networking, and it is, you send them maybe a text on their personal cell phone number, maybe I don't give it to the other person, but I let them know, hey, I have, you know, Susie Q or, you know, John Smith, they're going to send you an email at your email address, please take that email, please read it. And that's the connections that you do. Because it is, if I can help you to accomplish what you want. You know, the great Zig Ziglar, who passed away, you know, last year, has written for my magazine for nearly 20 years. A couple years ago, before he passed away, he sent me an email, and attached to that were, Jeff, here are 70 articles I've written that have never been published. I want to gift them to you to use in your magazine in any way you want. I didn't know he was ill. I didn't know he was going to be passing away. But he just did that. Now, I use those two examples that Zig had a great line, and that's, if you just help enough other people to get what they need and want in life, it will always come back and pay a dividend to you. It doesn't have to be about you. And that's my big belief. If you just, you know, it's an abundance mentality, and that's difficult sometimes, especially in today's economy and world. A lot of people, they operate from a small pie. They operate from a pessimistic mindset. And I truly do believe the pie is as big as you can make it. It's abundance.
Absolutely.
Put it out there. It will come back somehow, some way, eventually.
Basically, I came here with the agenda to raise money, right? What I didn't realize is so much more to raising money than just that in itself. What I found was that there's a lesson, there's a system and a pattern to do that. And what I found here at CEO Space was that system and pattern. I've been trying to raise capital for 5 years before I came here, with no idea of what I was doing, right? But coming here to CEO Space has given me the tools, the knowledge, and I guess the confidence is more so. the confidence through guys like yourself and all the other mentors here. And I mean, you're talking class, world-class people here, you know, and that's given me everything I needed to give me the tools to move forward. Now, from last July, I came here thinking I'm going to raise millions of dollars on the first night. Well, you know, it's never going to happen that way.
Unrealistic, isn't it?
A lot unrealistic,
Yes.
really. But let me tell you this: since that forum, and since talking to Bernie on the Skype call from Australia, he told me to come prepared, but he also told me don't come here to raise money the first day, right? And I didn't. What I did, I came here prepared to learn. That's the thing that people have to really realize. And I don't mean just sort of say, oh yeah, that works. No, really realize you have to be open to be coachable. And if you're open to be coachable, you will succeed. For instance, since the last forum and this forum, we have been negotiating a deal, okay? Now, I came here with a little section of my system to open up, a little tiny little section, right? And I was trying to raise $6 million, right? I didn't raise $6 million. I'm about to sign a deal for another section of that, $42 million.
And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the expertise that you bring to the table, the giving spirit that you have.
Thank you.
And I see you conference after conference after conference, appointment after appointment after. I don't know how you keep the abundance of energy that you have, because you always radiate.
Well, and again, when you do the things you love to do, as I teach and I've written on, when you do the things you love to do, it generates passion and motivation from within. When you get to interact with people you like to be around, that also generates passion and motivation from within. And I think one of the reasons there's so many empty people walking around the planet is that they're not around people, or they're not doing the things that give them passion and motivation. What's really weird about CEO Space is it is, for the most part, an abundance mentality group, so it becomes, you know, contagious.
Absolutely.
But if you do the things you really love and you speak from where you really have mental DNA, I'm not trying to be a BS artist, I'm not trying to be a carnival barker and sell something that's not me because I got to make a quick buck because I need to make my mortgage payment this month. And unfortunately, there's some people that operate that way. Well, that'll come back to get them. If you play from sincerity of who you are and what you know, that generates the energy, and that's where I get my recharge from.
I am so glad that you tapped on many different things right there. But you know, I've always believed, Jeff, that when you and I are properly aligned with our purpose in life, that's really where true passion comes from.
Exactly.
And when you work your true passion, like I get to do and have the privilege to do, like you're getting to do, it's not like work. You just want to serve, you want to give more. We can all give more. We can all become more, we can all learn more, and we can sow so many more seeds into other people's lives.
And that's exactly it. And if you look at anyone who's successful at any level, regardless of gender, regardless of generational, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of business, when you look at people that are truly successful, what they do, they surround themselves. You know, Ronald Reagan had a classic line. A-level people, like ABC, A-level people surround themselves with A-level people. B-level people surround themselves with C. Because a B wants to always be seen as the sharpest guy in the room. And at the end of the day, whether it's a politician or whether it's a business person, you surround yourself with people less than you, there is a long list of collateral damage that's going to take place. But when you surround yourself, like coming to CEO Space, with A-level people, and no matter who you are, there's going to be other A's. And no matter who you are, there's going to be B's and C's, because we're all different levels. So if you find out what your A is, surround yourself with those other A's. They may be younger or older, they may be black or white, they may be short or tall, skinny, fat, doesn't matter. A's come in every variation. But if you surround yourself with those A's, your advisory board, board of directors, collaborations, partnerships, alliances, all those words we use, you surround yourself with A's, the level of success you can experience will be beyond any wild dream you had before you pulled up in front of this facility. And if you take it back to your club level and do the same thing there, we can make more robust clubs as well.
Absolutely.
So that's the whole point. A's around A's, B's don't even show up.
And you know, Jeff, all my life I've always told people I'm the world's greatest copycat. I've just copied from the best. Why try to reinvent the wheel?
That's exactly.
Because every thought that we could ever have has already been thought of before.
And if you take the best, just as you said, and you look at it as your starting line, then you'll add and grow it.
Absolutely.
That's genuine. Now, there's a level of insincerity where people will copy what's already out there and they can't add anything to it. You get into a conversation with them, it's like after the second paragraph, they re-loop and are saying the same thing. And there's a lot of charlatans out there. But you're right, if there's already something that's great, you take it and say, how do I plus it? How do I add to it? Don't need to be reinventing any wheels out there. And that's exactly it.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
6 weeks ago, I had a TIA, which is a mini stroke, right? I was told not to fly. I was told if I did, I may not make it here, right? I may cause a proper stroke. But you know what? Nobody's going to keep me from my family, and nobody's going to keep me from the teachings and the sharings that come to me. Nobody's been able to say that to me in my life, ever. And I'm not going to be able to, couldn't sleep if I knew I couldn't come here and help somebody else do and experience what I experience here at CEO's Quest.